Hello and hello. Thank you for joining me. How you guys doing? So I'm hyped about the World Cup, okay? I'm very hyped. I'm trying to learn more and more and more. It's already begun. I feel a little bit behind. But, hey, it's still real early. It's just getting started. Germany just stomped that little island. Is it an island nation? I don't know. Little tiny nation. Oh, it's our first World Cup ever. Germany. You know, it's like, oh, damn. You guys didn't have to do all that. But anyway, it's like, okay, I see. Okay, the Germans came to play this World Cup, so I better be paying attention. So I need to know more about the German team. Okay, how far can Germany go in the 2026 World Cup? I think they can go all the way, I'd say. But anyway, CBS Sports Galazzo. Check them out, link down below. Let's do it. I'm just hoping this gives me like kind of a refresher on the team and stuff, you know? I don't know anything about it.
What are your expectations for this team?
Thomas Mueller? Is he still playing?
Into this World Cup.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be there in 2014 in Brazil when this team had an amazing amount of success. And what this group had was character, was chemistry. They were together like no other nation I had seen. I watched a great documentary following that group. Management to players, the communication, everything was absolutely on point. This group has had a very difficult time going from being world champions to where we're at right now with the German Federation. A lot of legends have retired, unfortunately, and maybe you still see one legend still there in Manuel Neuer.
I've heard it was a young team.
40 years old, still in the group. It's quite amazing.
40. You can play soccer at the highest level at 40?
Amazing to see. I just think that Germany is a nation you can never underestimate when it comes to a World Cup. I understand they've had major disappointment over the last two. Major disappointment. This group doesn't exactly scream immense talent like the previous generation that won the World Cup in 2014 did. But if you look at individuals...
Because they're young, right? I mean, they haven't really had time to prove themselves, right?
There are some superstars in amongst this group. I am slightly concerned defensively, and that's probably why you bring the experienced Manuel Neuer into this group. So I do think that this is going to be a big question. Defensively, can they sort of be solid? Can they be organized? Can they be together? I think that's down to Julian Nagelsmann if he can get that right. Offensively, I'm going to throw it out there. The striker position is up for grabs, but I do think that midfield is up there with the best in world football. I'm going to throw it out there. There's some individuals.
I need to know who's in the team with them, or the group with them. Germany FIFA group. There we go. That'll work. Curacao, that's who you guys stomped into the ground, unfortunately for them. Ivory Coast? Some kind of Irish team? Ecuador and Curacao. Oh, come on. You guys got this in the bag, right? I don't know anything about the Ivory Coast, Ecuador. How good are they? I think you guys have got your group on lockdown, right? There's no way Germany doesn't win that. What do I know? But that's what I think. Come on. Come on.
There that can steal the show and absolutely push Germany into the promised land once again.
Well, this is the German side that was released just today as far as the World Cup squad for this German side. And now to break it all down, bring in our German football correspondent, Rafa Honigstein. Rafa, thanks for coming on with us yet again. Let me get your initial reaction on the squad released by the German national team.
Yeah, not too many surprises. It's a squad that most people expected, about one or two omissions.
I wish I knew the players.
Said El Mala was a player that a lot of people would have liked to see in there. It's a bit unlucky what happened with Oliver Baumann in goal, being only number 2 for months and months of Nagelsmann and Neuer saying, no, Neuer is not coming back. Suddenly here he is, and he's the number 1, and poor Oliver Baumann is going to be number 2 again. But by and large, it's really, I don't want to say the team picks itself, but we don't have too many options, obvious big players that are missing out. We're not England, we're not France, where, you could have had easily 50 great players. Germany a little bit thinner on the ground, and that's one of the reasons why we're not seen as big favorites. And of course, if you then include our recent history at the World Cup with 2 group stage exits, very few people have us down as favorites. Nagelsmann said straight after the...
some people like being in that position, the underdog. That'll make the victory all the more sweeter, let's be honest.
He's going to the World Cup to win. He's backtracked a little bit, I didn't
have that perception, though. I thought Germany was, aren't. I mean, they're certainly not like the underdog. It would not be like shocking for Germany to make it to the final.
Done quite a few
Right.
things, but I think we have a decent squad, not a brilliant one.
All right, let's get into it. I mean, you just
Okay.
mentioned there, Julian Nagelsmann taking a lot
Very German answer right there. Very real. Okay.
of heat from the German media. There have been a few surprises. I think the Manuel Neuer selection and the Baumann situation was a big surprise for me. So was there any surprise factor going into this group selection of, you know, what you were expecting to happen and obviously what they can do, this group obviously going into a World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, one or two surprises. I think Maxi Bayer was a bit of a surprise. I think he got lucky in the sense that his uptick in form coincided with now with a nomination. I think a few months ago he would have had very little chance of making the squad. Kai Havertz, of course, being there is not a surprise, but we're really lucky that he recovered just in time. I guess of all the sort of novice players, Lennart Kahl is the obvious one, but he has been so good for Bayern that I think it was difficult for Nagelsmann to leave him out. One player I would really like to see in the squad is Tom Bischoff. He is also a novice, a rookie at this level, but he's shown enough at Bayern that he is a very versatile addition. He can play midfield, he can play left back, which I think would have been really useful because with the exception of David Raum, we don't have really that many options. And if you consider the fact that Joshua Kimmich is probably going to play as right back, that puts a lot of strain on the back four because it's not really blessed with natural world-class fullbacks. And I think that's probably where our weakest spot is.
Well, that kind of gets into what I was going to ask you.
Okay, they're talking a little bit above my head, but I am learning actually like some really good information on what to watch out for when I do watch Germany play.
Next, which is the area of concern for you in this German squad? Is it that back line? Is it the number 9 position, the striker position? What is it for you?
I've heard them talk about these like number 9, number 10 position. I don't know. There must be some kind of, I don't know what that all means, you know? I guess I'll look up soccer. I have to put soccer positions by number. You know, apparently this is a thing because I keep hearing people talk about it. There we go. It is a thing. Okay, so 1's the goalie, 2 through 5 are defense, I guess. 8, 9, 10 midfield, 7, 9, 11 are strikers, I guess is what they call them. God, I probably sound kind of annoyingly ignorant, huh? But I'm trying, guys. Oh, okay. So let me just see real quick. The number 9 position is like the what? Like the middle striker? And number 10 is like a midfield middle? All right.
I have less problem with the striker position. Yes, we don't have an orthodox number 9. We don't have Kylian Mbappe up there either. But I think the combination of Havertz, Wirtz, and Musiala has already shown at the Euros that playing in a sort of different way with the fluidity and lots of interchanging, Germany will score goals. And I think if you then add Lennart Kahl to the mix and you have Leroy Sané, who hopefully will show up and is going to have a good tournament.
Just reading some of their stats and stuff, trying to get to know these players. So these are the attackers, the offensive, Kai, Florian, and Jamal.
And find the consistency at least over that time of the tournament that has been missing in his game over the last couple of years. If you look at the whole time, I think Germany will not struggle for goals. Where I see more problems is the back four. I see Jonathan Tah as a very good defender, Schlotterbeck, very good defender.
Well, I mean, they certainly didn't struggle for goals against Kaoka or whatever it was. 7 goals, so I guess maybe he's right. But they also weren't scored on but one time.
Defender, are they sort of world-class level?
I don't know how indicative that really is of anything. But yeah.
Mats Hummels and Jerome Boateng.
They can clearly score.
Probably not. and the fullbacks we talked about. I don't like to see Joshua Kimmich there. I understand that with the ball, he becomes another midfielder and he's very influential, but you don't want to see him up against a Vinicius Jr. in a one-to-one.
There's a freaking little like gnat in here. Dude.
Or up against Olise in a one-to-one, or whoever's going to play on the left for France. They have so many options.
I don't even Luften. You know what I mean? I don't even Luften. How is there gnat in here? What the heck?
So there, I think Germany are just not very well positioned. Now, in the past, when they had a problem, and of course that happened in 2014, the beginning of the World Cup, they played with 4 centre-backs and just sort of got into the tournament being quite pragmatic, if you will. And that might well be the start again in a very in a sort of amenable group that they should not have no problem with. But I think to go really deep, I just don't see quite enough quality in the back four, unfortunately.
They have an immense amount of talent in that midfield, especially the number 10 position. Jamal Musiala, Florian Wirtz, albeit Musiala with injury and Florian Wirtz out of form and inconsistency. You've mentioned his name a couple of times. There's a young Leonard Carl that got in there. I'm so happy to see his name there because, as you pointed out, he just flew out the traps and was immense. Everyone in the world now knows his name. He's in the
Okay, who is that?
in there. You've mentioned his name a couple of times. And Florian Wirtz out of form and inconsistency. You've mentioned his name a couple of times. There's a young Leonard Carl that got in.
Leonard Carl?
In there. I'm so happy to see his name there because, as you pointed out, he just flew out the traps and was immense. Everyone in the world now knows his name. He's in the national team.
Except me.
Squad. What role can he play, understanding that there is a Florian Wirtz?
I'm trying to just get some player names down, you know, so I can know at least 1 or 2 things that I'm talking about, you know. Okay, Leonard Carl. Leonard Carl. I see he's only played 3 international matches, which I guess one of them was that one the other day. Okay. Let me just look up what he looks like, guys. Oh, okay, it was this guy they showed him. I've seen him. He's very young, oh my god. Okay, I'm going to be looking out for this guy. Midfielder? Okay, Leonard Carl. Everybody's excited about him.
Jamal Musiala right there in that type of a position where he could potentially play. Is there a possibility we could see him at some point be a match winner, be the name that we're actually talking about at the end of this World? It's not a Wirtz, it's not a Musiala, we're talking about Leonard Carl.
I think could very well happen, and I think the reason for that is, as you alluded to, both Jamal Musiala and Florian Wirtz are not quite at the same level that they were 2 years ago. Musiala because of his injury.
Okay, I'm looking up who scored those goals in that game that was 7-1. It's actually very evenly distributed. Maybe that's a good sign. But Kai got 2 goals, so he's someone to look out for me. Felix, Nico, Jamal, Nathaniel Brown, Dennis. Kai. I'm looking out for Kai and Leonard.
He's still fighting his way back.
Let me look up this dude, Kai Havertz, real quick. Wait, he looks exactly like the other guy. The hell? He looks just like Leonard. Here's Leonard. And here's Kai. Okay. One of you needs to shave the goatee.
To full fitness and full confidence in his own body. And Florian Wirtz, after a difficult season, not quite firing. I think that Leonard Carl is going to get plenty of game time. You know, at the World Cup, things change. Whereas if it's club football and you have an off night as a Florian Wirtz or Jamal Musiala, you're still going to be in the starting lineup 3 days later. In the World Cup, where everything comes down on such a small amount of games, if you have 45 bad minutes, somebody else will take your place in the next game. And Leonard Carl is perfectly positioned to both be an impact sub, but also if there's any loss of form or perhaps a lack of real form from either Musiala or Florian Wirtz, he'd be the first name on the team sheet to come in, unless, of course, Leroy Sané is also with a starting position. I think it's very uncertain if he's going to be able to do enough to get that starting position. If he has, then things change again a little bit. But I am sure that Leonard Carl is going to have a big impact, certainly in the group stage, where, let's face it, against Ivory Coast, Ecuador, and Curacao. Famous last words, but I'm confident Germany will score goals.
Fair point. Oh, you always don't want to get in that jinx, right? You don't want to
You're
get
forgetting
that
the
jinx
Dutchman, Dick Advocaat at Curacao. He's going to listen to this and be a little angry, Rafa.
Rafa, historically, for Germany,
So far, he's very right.
the only time you call a success in a World Cup is winning a World Cup, because that's the standard that they've met. Bit different this time.
I love that. I love that, you know.
What would you call success
All or nothing.
for Germany in this World Cup?
I think success is going to be somewhere between quarterfinal and semi-final. Anything before that is a disappointment. Anything after that is, or on that is going to be a decent World Cup. Germany got knocked out in the quarterfinals against Spain in the Euros. It was seen as an okay result because it was Spain. They went on to win. It was an edgy game. Germany got a little bit unlucky with the handball situation and so on. So it was a decent enough finish. If they do it again, I don't think it's quite enough. I think they probably have to get into the semi-final for people to say really good tournament. If it's just another quarterfinal, people say, okay, we are sort of on a consistent path. We have, not embarrassed ourselves the way we did in the last two tournaments. But it's not going to be...
And it's crazy this only comes around once every 4 years.
...creating people dancing in the street and so on. I mean, we used to have this saying in Germany that a bad Germany team gets to the final, a good one wins it. I think a bad Germany team hasn't got to the final for a while. I would settle for that one.
What are your expectations?
That would be so hype. I hope they do. USA versus Germany, guys. That's the final. Germany was a handball call away from potentially being in the Euro finals. In the quarters they lost. My point was they competed with Spain. Yeah. Never count Germany out. Never count Germany out. Thank you very much for watching. I'm very hyped. I look forward to what happens on Friday for you guys. All right. That is when it is. Is it Friday? Saturday. All right. Thanks for watching.